Jonny Bowden, The Great Cholesterol Myth, Why Lowering Your Cholesterol Won't Prevent Heart Disease and the Statin-Free Plan That Will. Dive into the thought-provoking book, The Great Cholesterol Myth, where Jonny Bowden explores the misunderstood world of cholesterol and highlights the outdated science which has demonized it for years. In this summary, you'll discover the inaccuracies in famous cholesterol studies, the misconceptions about good and bad cholesterol, and why sugar is far more dangerous than fat. The book also addresses the importance of reducing stress to lower the risk of cardiovascular diseases, and discusses the potential harm and consequences of taking statins. Prepare to reconsider what you think you know about cholesterol and heart health.
The cholesterol fallacy. Cholesterol has been demonized as bad for our health, but this belief is based on outdated and bad science. The theory that too much fat in the diet raises cholesterol levels and causes heart disease, popularized by Ansel Keys, relied on flawed data. Further research by John Yudkin found that sugar was actually the dietary factor most strongly associated with heart disease. Unfortunately, Yudkin's findings were overlooked, and the anti-fat sentiment went mainstream. This highlights the danger of relying on incomplete or biased research to shape public health policies. Cholesterol misconceptions. HDL and LDL cholesterol measurements are not enough to determine cardiovascular health, as the subtypes of each measure complicate the picture. Most people have heard that there are good and bad types of cholesterol, HDL and LDL, and that raising the former and lowering the latter is the best way to maintain cardiovascular health. However, this understanding is outdated and oversimplified. Both subtypes of HDL and LDL need to be considered to determine the real risk of harm. HDL-2 is the beneficial subtype of HDL, while HDL-3 can be harmful, and LDL-A is harmless when LDL-B and LP-A are dangerous. There is also no clear benefit to raising HDL levels. The 2011 study found that doing so does not reduce the risk of heart attacks, strokes, or death. Similarly, the simple understanding that lowering LDL levels is always beneficial does not account for subtleties. Atherosclerosis is only caused by bad subtypes of LDL. Instead of focusing solely on HDL and LDL, doctors should analyze the type of cholesterol present in one's blood to determine how to improve their cardiovascular health. Rethinking cholesterol measures. Cholesterol subtypes matter more than just HDL and LDL levels to assess cardiovascular health. Cholesterol is a vital component of the human body, but not all cholesterol measures are equal. The popular understanding of cholesterol, that high-density lipoproteins, HDL, are good and low-density lipoproteins, LDL, are bad, is oversimplified. The type of proteins and cholesterol and their subtypes, as well as the question of whether they are harmful or beneficial, play a more significant role in assessing cardiovascular health. Raising HDL levels doesn't necessarily lead to reduced chances of heart attacks, stroke, or death. Only a subtype of HDL, HDL-2, offers protection against health risks. HDL-3, on the other hand, can trigger harmful inflammation and cause more problems than benefits. Similarly, not all subtypes of LDL are harmful. For instance, LDL-A is benign, but LDL-B and LP-A can cause atherosclerosis, leading to arterial blockage and other related health conditions, which can be quite risky. As a result, for a holistic assessment of cholesterol levels, it is important to understand the subtype composition. In conclusion, we need to reevaluate our understanding of our cholesterol levels. We must focus on assessing our cholesterol subtype composition accurately to have a better insight into our cardiovascular health. Sugar versus fat, the real culprit behind heart diseases. Sugar causes more harm than fat to our cardiovascular health, according to modern research. Consuming high amounts of sugar reduces insulin's effectiveness and leads to increased triglycerides and glycation, which can obstruct our arteries and cause cardiovascular disease. John Yudkin's skepticism towards fat as the primary cause of heart disease was dismissed in the past, but his theory is gaining attention now. It's time to take a closer look at our sugar intake and its impact on our health. Stress, a silent killer. Severe stress is the main cause of fatal heart attacks. Excessive cortisol in the bloodstream hardens the arteries, making us more vulnerable to heart attacks. The risk of cardiovascular disease can be reduced by establishing meaningful connections, as Roseto, an Italian-American community in Pennsylvania did. Their secret to a significantly low rate of heart disease was their tight-knit community and meaningful connections. Have you ever wondered what goes on in people's minds when they suffer fatal heart attacks? It is not happy memories, unrequited love, or even the anticipation of heavenly bliss. It is severe stress. Shockingly, 91% of those who are resuscitated after experiencing sudden cardiac death report feeling acute psychological stress. Chronic stress, which is ubiquitous in modern life, is the real culprit that causes our heart to pay the price. It triggers excessive amounts of cortisol in our bloodstream, which can cause our arteries to harden, and hence we become more vulnerable to heart attacks and arrhythmias. Work, social media, and modern life in general are the major culprits of chronic stress. Stress is not always bad since it could be beneficial for our ancestors when facing dangerous situations. However, it has become a severe problem for modern society. But how can we counterbalance the negative impact of chronic stress? The answer lies in Roseto, an Italian-American community in Pennsylvania that flourished in the 1960s. In Roseto, almost nobody under the age of 65 died of heart disease, despite their unhealthy diet. Their secret was simple: community and connection. They lived under one roof with their children and grandchildren, and everyone had a part to play in the tight-knit community. Establishing meaningful connections is one way of reducing stress and, by extension, the risk of cardiovascular disease. The dangers of statins. Dwayne Graveline suffered severe amnesia caused by a type of drug called a statin. Statins are designed to lower cholesterol levels in the body but can lead to serious side effects. Depletion of coenzyme Q10, an important nutrient that helps the body maintain coronary health, is one of the alarming consequences of taking statins. While it is true that statins sometimes have anti-inflammatory properties, their cholesterol-lowering effects are not the source of their benefits. In most cases, the disadvantages of taking a statin outweigh the benefits. Statins are a gamble and can interfere with some of the body's most vital processes.
In conclusion, the Great Cholesterol Myth exposes the inaccurate science that has condemned cholesterol and saturated fats, while bringing attention to the true culprits of cardiovascular diseases, such as sugar and chronic stress. It challenges our beliefs about good and bad cholesterol by emphasizing the significance of cholesterol subtypes, which are often overlooked. Furthermore, the book casts doubt on the necessity and safety of statins, which are prescribed based on outdated science, and can potentially cause alarming side effects. It's time to reassess our understanding of cholesterol and heart disease and prioritize heart health by addressing stress, sugar intake, and potentially reconsidering the use of statins.